A history lesson. A first bite. A towering blast. A lucky hat. A new hero. Dodger baseball. What will you take home?
Take home all the action all season with our Blue Heaven Value Plan. Season seats start at just $3. To order, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS.
Hello.
Hi, Poppy.
Hey, sweetie.
Where are you going today?
Oh, just the park. I thought we'd go to a different park.
Yankee Stadium.
Reach out, oh, with Ray and Steve. Reach out, with Ray and Steve. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the car. For the home team, if they don't win, it's a shame. Play ball.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome to Reach Out with Ray and Steve, the show where East meets West, where the Yankees meet the beloved Dodgers, baseball meets music, and we all come together for community. All right, everybody, it's time to bring on the host of the show, our new movie star, Ray Negron, along with his sidekick, Steve. Come on in, guys.
Yes, always a sidekick with the movie star here.
Listen,
Congratulations, man.
number
Yeah.
one, it was a great experience. This is probably my 12th film, and to work with the great Louis Guzman and Brooke Shields, who loved me, by the way.
Look at you there, man.
Oh, look at that!
Did she actually say that
That's
to you?
what, it's none of your business what she said to me,
Okay.
Steve.
I
Okay.
Be
But it was a-
nice. Be nice.
Robbie, I'm sorry. Turbulent times. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Well,
calm
listen, by
down.
the way, I figure what we should do, since you're a movie star now, what we
Uh-huh.
should do is we need to set up a little stunt. If we
Uh-oh.
want to get some notoriety,
Yes?
maybe Steve could slap you across the face or something like that.
Oh, there we go.
Wait a minute. Why does
Hey,
he do the
wait.
slapping? I'm the Will Smith in this thing.
I've heard that theme before real recently there.
Hey, it
Yeah.
works, doesn't it? It gave the best ratings ever.
There we go. There we go.
Well, Robbie, let me just say that Louis Guzman, who happens to be the #1 character actor in the world,
Yeah, he rocks, man.
and he just sent us a message because he was actually, he was a gigantic Gio Urshela fan, and Gio, as you know, was just got traded to the Minnesota
Sure, very
Twins.
sad.
So, Carmine, could you put that on for us?
Gio, how are you, Papa? Luis Guzman, tu pana, tu fanático. I just want to thank you for everything that you have done for the Latino community here in New York City, especially all the work that you have done with all those young kids. They'll never forget you. They'll be grateful for you. Gracias, papito. Bendiciones. Dios quiera, nos vemos pronto. Play on, papá. Play on. Porque tú eres uno de los buenos.
Not
Wow,
bad.
that was amazing. I'll
You
tell you
know.
what, because you know what, he is so right on target. Gio has been such a great Yankee for the
Yeah.
community, not only
Yeah.
on the field, but even more
Off the
so off
field.
the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot of events in the Bronx, CS 55, different places in the Bronx, domestic violence shelters, and Gio's been right there along with his efforts, really showing what the Yankee way is all about, right?
Well, he got together actually, and I'm glad that we have our first guest is Gary Perone, who got together with Louis Guzman. And I want to know, because I was like in the bathroom when they were talking, so I want to know what was said, what was going on, what was happening with Gary Perone and America's greatest character actor. So we should can we bring him on now,
Let's
Robby?
bring Gary on, Staten Island
Yeah,
Ferry
baby,
Hawks.
come on
Gary
in.
Perone, Vice
Hey,
President,
guys.
General Manager. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. How's it going?
Good, good. Thank you for joining us today. Tell us your experience over the last week with Ray and everybody else over there.
Ray called us up here at the ballpark. He gave us the heads up that he's going to be a few blocks away. So we went down to go see Mr. Guzman, and he's a big baseball fan, we learned. So we went down to go visit him and Ray, and thank you, Ray, for the introduction. He's a great man. He's passionate. He loves baseball. We know that much. And we were talking about hopefully he'll come back here during the summertime and we could honor him here at the ballpark when we do some of our Latin initiatives that we have planned.
But let me ask you, why does it have to be a Latin initiative? I mean, this guy is a crossover guy. He is one from a survey I just saw last week. He is one of the top 5 most recognizable faces in the world.
Wow.
So that tells me it doesn't have to be Latin oriented. Why can't it be everybody oriented?
Whenever he wants to come, we'll be here waiting for him.
That's
Easy
what we
way of
like.
putting
That's
it.
what
There
we
you go.
like.
I figured we'd tie him in with Roberto Clemente and I thought that would be a really cool thing to do because we do have a good relationship with the Roberto Clemente Foundation. And, in the area where we are now here in Staten Island, we have a growing Hispanic demographic growing on Staten Island now, too. So to tie in a familiar face with the community so they understand what we're trying to do here in Staten Island is important as well.
Let me just say, why would all the kids in the area, I mean, they bombarded him. They went at him. Why would that happen in Staten Island with Louis Guzman?
Why would it happen? Well, everybody, listen, ever since whoever posted pictures, we had a lot of great responses to the pictures that was posted. People know him from all his movies. So they will come out and see him. That's for sure.
So, Gary, we had you on the show a couple of months ago,
Yep.
just talking about the Ferry Hawks. How are things going now, and how do you see things in the next couple of weeks for you?
We got 31 days till opening night here at the ballpark.
Wow, great.
Yeah, so things have really progressed, and we still have a lot of work to do going forward. But the one great thing is the field is coming along really nice. Should be done probably the 3rd week in April, and so we'll have a brand new turf field out here. The community has really been great. We've been out in the community almost every day. This past weekend, I played a ringmaster in a circus. That was weird. We were at the mall yesterday, had national anthem auditions, and then so we're working around the clock trying to get this thing right and give something to all the baseball fans on Staten Island and the community. Most importantly, the community misses baseball out here, so they're really embracing what we're doing. So as we go into opening day, we'll be doing some more good things.
Gary, your ownership group, I mean, the marquee of the ownership group could be a marquee. They could be the owners of a major league team. I mean, tell us a little bit about your owners.
Well, we have tremendous ownership group. I'm very fortunate to be part of it with them and helping to, they chose me to do this. So Mr. Katzimatidis, John has been great. Eric.
Tell us a little bit about John.
John is a real good man. He when we first sat down and we spoke, I asked him some questions, and the one question I did ask him was, John, you built a great wealth, and for yourself and your family, and you run a lot of great businesses. How'd you do it? And when he told me common sense, I said, this is the kind of person I want to be around. Wow. So we kind of, since that time, we've had great conversations. He's always there if I need him. He's a text away, and he always tells me all the time to give him a call if I need something. So he's been great. It's amazing to get the great support from John and his staff over at the Red Apple Group, and ABC Radio has been very helpful to us as well. We've done a lot of good segments in the morning on Sundays. I join John on almost every Sunday now, talking about the progress of the team. So he's given a great platform to us to kind of promote. But having support from him like that is quite amazing.
And then you have Yankee Global involved. How does that work?
Well, Randy
Levine.
Yeah, Randy Levine and Yankee Global is part of this, where it's great to have baseball royalty with this as well, because when you have the Yankee brass behind you, it's a great sounding board. Big expectations, and I feel it. So you want to live up to the way the Yankees are, and trying everything we can to do that. But they've been great support. Mr. Bruno's been awesome to work with, and his staff. So they've been lending support to us in certain areas. But Randy has been great to me so far.
Look, I got to cut you off right here and ask you. I mean, I work directly for Randy over at Yankee Stadium. And
Right.
I got to know. I know how tough he can be. I mean, he's a junior George Steinbrenner per se
Right.
at times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can be. Maybe one of the greatest guys that I know. But when it comes to winning and doing the right thing for the Yankee brand, nobody is tougher. Have you seen any of that over there at the Ferry Hawks yet?
So far we've been okay.
You are a lucky young man. That's all I got to
that's
say.
what happens. That's what happens when you're in Staten Island with the Atlantic League Baseball.
Well, you haven't lost the game yet. Let's find out when you lose the game.
I know, but hopefully we don't. We have a good. I'll tell you one thing: our baseball operations department has been doing a tremendous job. My guys, Eddie Medina, Edgardo Alfonso, Nelson Figueroa, and Luis Rodriguez will be joining us as our hitting coach pretty soon. But we definitely have built up a great staff of baseball people to kind of gear the ship.
I'm hearing that you guys may sign Bartolo Colon. How close are you?
We're talking. We've been talking to Bartolo the last few weeks. I know that Edgardo has called him and Nelson has called him as well. We're waiting to see what he says. But if he does come out to pitch for us, there'll be big sexy on Staten Island, so that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that's
He's a new mini Minosa there. But Gary, talk about one of the greatest things about your stadium. You have New York City skyline as the backdrop for the viewers out there that don't really understand where you're situated.
Yeah, so the ballpark right now is located right next to the Staten Island Ferry, which is, when you look at the backdrop of the stadium, when you have the skyline every day, it really is a beautiful sight. It's probably the prettiest sight in all of baseball. When you sit here, the view is awesome. But one of the greatest things about the area now is that the area is going through a revitalization once again. We have a beautiful Empire Outlet Mall next door to us. Just today, the borough president, Mr. Fasella, was with us today talking about how we want to change things. And he was hearing the vision that I've had for down here for some time. We're creating the downtown district of Staten Island instead of calling it St. George, where we are, because it's a great area for sports and entertainment. And the venue is going to be perfect for any concerts, comedy shows, and we will have 66 baseball games. But the most important thing with a venue like this is to showcase it. We have a lot of tourists that come onto this side of the island because of the outlets now. So hopefully they'll be coming over to enjoy some baseball games too.
Now, speaking of comedy, what's the Saturday Night Live involvement in this?
So the Redbird Group is Pete Davidson, Colin Jost, Michael Che, and then there's Danny Garcia. She owns the XFL football team, and so they're partners with us in this too. They will be showing support very soon. I can't say just yet because I can't tell all the tricks just yet, but there's going to be a lot of cool things coming up in the next 2 weeks.
I mean,
sounds like the 2022 Charles Finley.
Robby, I got to ask you, I mean, will you you and your boss, Mr. Valley, possibly be performing over there?
You never know. You never know. I know we have a gig coming up in Radio City, though. That may negate us being able to play anywhere else. As close. We were just in Staten Island. Gary, you should have come over.
Yeah, you were just there. Yes.
I heard. We'll have to get someone out here because I think having if we did the 9 innings of Frankie Valli and had him come out and throw out a first pitch, that might be something pretty cool too. So maybe you want to mention it to him.
See, now that's the way Charles Finley would think, right? He was always out of the box.
Right.
You could have orange baseballs or something. I don't know.
Gary said he's a circus leader now, so here we go.
Hey, it's all showbiz, right?
That's right.
Nowadays the way the game is going, it's at the level of the minor leagues and the Atlantic League and the Park League teams. It really is about the entertainment and the value that we can give to the fans. And I used to say this a long time ago. When you want to see Broadway, you go to the Bronx. Yeah. When you want to watch minor leagues, you go to teams like this. And we have we have to kind of make sure that we give the fans a great show and value for their dollar.
Is your schedule set up so that you guys are playing when the Yankees are on the road, et cetera, things like that?
I think we have some crossover games. Of course, there's never going to be a perfect match, but I haven't done the comparison both, but I'll look into that. But whether people can't make it to Yankee Stadium for that game, but they could come here. It's our tickets are going to be reasonably priced. Our promotion schedule is coming out this Wednesday. Our individual tickets will go on sale on Monday for online only, and then on April 9th, we're going to have at the ballpark here on Staten Island, we're going to have an open house and a little party leading into the spring training for the players.
Are you going to be having a Nancy Newman bobblehead night from what I'm hearing all over the place? Is that true?
I would love to have a Nancy Newman bobblehead.
Well, let's get Nancy on with us.
Let's check out Nancy Newman from the Yes Network and joining the show. Reach out here. Welcome, Nancy. That's her with Tino Martinez.
Wow, nice couple.
There you go. So, Nancy, I didn't know you have a bobblehead.
Okay, Gary, I don't mind that idea. I can't say I hate that. I'll even throw out the first pitch one day for you if you want.
I would love. Yes, come on out for that. It'd be great.
I think that people will come out just for that.
That's right. Nancy, what do you think of what Gary's talking about, what they're doing over in Staten Island?
I think it's tremendous. I've been to the ballpark. I was so glad, Steve, that you brought that up because it is the most sensational view, isn't it, Gary? And the time I've been out there, you and your organization have treated me so well, just first class all the way. I'm a big time supporter. You can count on me. Put me on the list of people that would do anything you like for you.
Thank you.
That's great. Right. And Gary, how can people contact you or get tickets over there?
They could go to the website. We have a brand new website up. It's ferryhawks.com. And they can follow us on the Instagram at ferryhawks. So they can find all the information there. And if they need to reach out directly to the office, it's 929-59-HAWKS, HAWKS.
Okay, we will be sending an invoice to Mr. Casamatides for this advertisement.
That's right. But Gary, thank you so very much. And we talked about the last time. We got to get Bat Boy over there too. So let's keep that on the docket.
All righty.
We'll open for Frankie Valli.
There we go. And Nancy will throw out the first pitch. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Gary. Staten Island Ferry Hawks, Gary Perrone, General Manager, Vice President. Thank you so very much. This is Reach Out. We're here every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. We're on BronxNet and Cablevision. And we have the pleasure of having Nancy Newman on the show. Nancy, you're busy now that the lockout is over, right?
Most definitely. It's crossover time because the Brooklyn Nets are still in play, as we all know. Baseball's gearing up. It's a wonderful time of year. It doesn't get any better, does it?
That's right. That's right. You do the Nets games. What do you think of Kyrie Irving playing now in these home games? What are your thoughts about that?
We've got some audio trouble, I think, with Nancy, don't we?
Yeah, I'm just so glad. I'm so glad that he gets to play. I'm so glad for the Nets. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
we're hearing you.
You're cutting in and out, though, a little bit. I wonder if Nancy logs back in, we might have a cleaner signal.
Yeah, Nancy, why don't you log out and come on back in real quick?
Sure. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, we'll vamp until you get back.
Okay.
As we get Nancy back, what do you think of Freddie Freeman, Robby?
Hey, this Dodger I have to ask Nancy. Boy, this Dodger lineup, I mean, it's like a lineup of all-stars. we've got 3 MVPs in the starting lineup. I mean, it's crazy, and it's
Name
so.
the 3 MVPs, Robbie. Name them.
Oh, Freddie Freeman,
Okay.
Mookie, and
Right.
and then
Who we got?
the center fielder. What's his name? Oh, I can't believe I'm having a
Bellinger.
Bellinger. Thank you.
Bellinger,
Yeah,
yep.
Cody Bellinger.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 MVPs.
No,
Plus, and then if you when Kershaw's pitching, you got 4.
Yeah, that's Freddie Freeman. So he's a left-handed bat. They signed up for a long-term deal. Do you think they have enough pitching this year?
I think so. I mean, we've got, and I know that they're going to go out and get somebody else if they need to. We've got Walker Buehler, who's potentially, well, he's now the ace. Kershaw has stepped down a little bit, and then we've got Julio Urias, who won 20 games last year. So we've got a pretty good starting 3. We'll figure out the 4 and 5.
That's right. That's right. Now, we talked about earlier that, Gio was traded along with Gary Sanchez. Are you ready for opening day?
Oh, baby, am I ready ever. I'm so ready. I'm excited to get baseball back in the groove big time, and I think America is ready for it. And this is going to be like a real season. I am disappointed. Like this DH thing in the National League does not work for me. But as a Dodger fan, the Dodgers are going to do great with a DH. I mean, with 9 hitters that the Dodgers can put up there, it's going to be great for the Dodgers. But I don't think it's good for baseball. But
who's your DH, Robbie? Who will be your?
Well,
DH?
they're going to float it around. Cody Bellinger might be a DH. Chris Taylor might be a DH. They have so much depth on the Dodgers that they can move guys around and give guys days off here and there and let them DH, but they still have solid fielders. So we've got 9 solid players.
I think we have Nancy back. Let's try to get Nancy back on. Hey,
that's
Nancy.
Better. That's way better. How are you, Nancy?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me better? Can you see me better?
Yes. Very
Much
good.
better.
Very good.
Yes. Now, Nancy, let me ask you. I've watched you do basketball this winter. I mean, I'm blown away because I happen to think that you're better at basketball than baseball, and you're outstanding in baseball.
Wow.
Well, you mean that as a compliment, but
Yes, I do mean that as a compliment. I didn't know that you knew the sports like that. You're great.
Well, that's fine, but don't say I know it better than baseball because that's not true.
Man, you know what? It's the
baseball's
delivery.
not my.
You are great at baseball, but I enjoyed the way you reported the Kyrie
Irving, yep.
Irving. I mean, nobody reported it like that. Nobody gave it to us like that, and it made us understand exactly what the heck was going on.
Thank you so much. That's a compliment to the entire production team. Frank Isola is a tremendous analyst and writer, and he sits alongside, and he's just a tremendous co-pilot, if you will. And Mike Medvin, the producer that day, was sensational. It's the forum. When you get a chance to do the pregame and the postgame, there's a lot more involvement and back and forth, and you can dig into stories more. Whereas in baseball, I love my role in batting practice with the Yankees, of course, right? But that's a different format. I'm not analyzing anything per se. So I don't think you get to see the same kind of execution or analysis. It's just a different forum,
By the way, am I is it okay for me to ask Nancy a sports question that's not Yankees or New York?
Yeah, absolutely.
This show actually goes out beyond.
It's a Dodger question, Nancy. Get ready.
No, it's not.
Okay.
This is I think one of the biggest sports stories in the last 2 days, and that's Albert Pujols. He just re-signed with the Cardinals. What do you think of that whole story? What do you think, Nancy? I don't think she liked that story. There you go.
No,
what do you think of that?
It was a scam call that was interrupting.
Oh, okay.
I went, okay.
Yeah, we have a different budget here at the Reach Out show here.
Albert Pujols back with the Cardinals. That just sounds perfect, right? 1 year, 2.25, I think it is. I'm so glad for him. I'm sure St. Louis is over the moon.
You know,
Beautiful.
and I was, of course, being a Dodger fan that I am, I guess that's pretty clear. But having him on the Dodgers last year, I had even greater respect for him now because this guy is class act all the way. And talk about community. This guy gives back on every level. He's got a heart of gold. He's got a mentor. What an asset he is to have on any team, whether he plays one inning or not. He is a great, great baseball ambassador.
He's the entire package. He's everything you want, right? Arguably one of the best hitters of all time, and a
Yes.
class guy, and a leader. And I also hear through the grapevine, he was a guy that was not sort of tight-lipped with regard to advice and assistance. He was very generous.
Yeah,
That's
can
right.
you imagine you're some young kid and you're sitting on the bench and you're sitting next to Albert Pujols and you
No
ask him,
kidding.
what can I do to help my swing or whatever, you know?
I know. And if Albert approaches and gives you a tip, my goodness, all ears, right? Yeah, no,
That's right.
he's terrific.
But Nancy, you had a brilliant career. You went to the University of Toronto. You had Channel 10 in Toronto, TSN, CNN, 2004 Olympics, Atlanta Thrashers that first year. But I have a question for you. You were an intern on Channel 10 in Toronto. After only 2 years, you became the sports director.
Wow.
Talk about that. That's a pretty great achievement.
Pretty fast.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'd rather talk about my most proud moment because I always have to speak of Mr. Bill McPhail, the late, great Mr. Bill McPhail, Lee McPhail's brother.
Wow.
When I saw that Hannah Storm was leaving CNN to go to NBC, I read it in the paper back then, because you're talking a long time ago. This is the 90s, right? And I thought, okay, I'm just going to apply. So I called up, and Mr. Bill McPhail actually took my call, and he said, I've seen you on satellite. He said, send me a tape because we're kind of at the 11th hour with regard to this. We think we might have someone we're going to hire, but send me your tape. So we actually drove out to the airport, me and my buddies, and we actually got to the FedEx plane to put that tape on there. And he called me at 10 a.m. the next morning. And the very next week, I was on a flight to Atlanta in CNN. And the very next week, I had a brand new job. He changed my life like that. So I will forever love him. He is a legend in our industry. He, I believe, negotiated the first NFL contract for CBS. He's done so many things. He discovered so many greats. He had impact on Bob Costas. He discovered Dan Patrick. I could go on. But I cannot ever talk about myself without talking about Bill McPhail. Thank you.
So he's your George Steinbrenner.
100%.
I got you, girl.
100%. And then when CNN ended and I was transitioning to here, it was Mr. Steinbrenner and Randy and Mindy Levine. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. So I've just been so blessed. I'm so grateful beyond. This is my home. I'm so happy here. When you know you're home, you just know.
Nancy, do you consider yourself, I've seen the young girls that come out of these schools. I speak all over the place, and I see the young girls that come out of the schools, and they look up to a Nancy Newman. Do you consider yourself a pioneer, per se?
I don't really define myself, but I'm very happy to assist anyone that would like to ask. I don't believe in giving advice unless someone really wants to hear it from you. So if I'm approached and I feel that they really want to share their story, I'm all in. I love hearing their story. I love asking questions as to what they're interested in, why they're interested in it, where do they see themselves. If you ask the young people questions, they kind of find their own way.
That's right. And my partner did a lot of work with Hank's Yanks. And what's your thoughts on Hank Steinbrenner?
Well, the finest man that has ever crossed my path in every way. He is forever missed. He was everything you'd think and more. The classiest, finest, most intelligent. There was no subject he couldn't speak on brilliantly, and intuitive, just the finest man I've ever known. Love his way for all time.
Wow.
Wow. And Nancy, you've done a lot of interviews with so many people. If you had to pick one person, there's Reggie Jackson there. If you had to pick one person, what would be your top interview that you've
Don't
had?
talk about me, Nancy. I'd rather you
Besides-
not prefer.
Besides Ray Negron.
How did you know, Ray? You just know.
Well, you know.
Ray was one of the first people I met when I moved here. I was such a young puppy at the time. And I remember sitting in the lobby of the old Yankee Stadium, and here
That's
comes
true.
Ray. And I
Yeah.
think, who's this guy? So
Who's this fine guy?
he starts
Who's
talking
the guy
to
next
me,
to him?
and we start striking up a conversation, and I think, now there's a person I can be friends with. This guy's okay. This guy's okay.
Did you think I was cute, Nancy?
Come on, Ray. We don't talk about those things.
Good answer.
To answer your
What
other
about?
question,
I heard.
I just want to tell my Don Mattingly story if I can.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Growing
Now
up,
now we're getting to
you know,
Dodger world here
the
now,
young
right?
kid- Yeah, I knew Robbie would like that too. So
You're a bad
you
guy,
know,
Robbie.
He
there's
did play for the
youthful
Yankees,
you,
though.
right? The fan you. What?
Go
No,
ahead.
I was reminding Robbie that he played for the Yankees before he
Oh,
went
he
to the
did?
Dodgers.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So I'll just tell you quickly. So there's the young you, right? The young fan you, and then there's the adult you that becomes a professional and all that good stuff, right? So he's coach on the Yankees, and I'm in the clubhouse, and I know that I'm going to interview him that day because that was the assignment. So I'm in the clubhouse waiting for him, and I'm both me. The professional me and the fan me, and he comes around the corner from Joe Torre's office, right? And I turn around and he's right there. So I stop. I'm sure he could tell that I hesitated for a moment, and I just said to myself, I said, okay. And then I said to him, I said, please forgive me. I'll get this out of the way right now. I had posters of you up when I was growing up. You were my all-time fave, just so you know. Okay. And he goes, okay. And he said, so let's do this. You got this. So then we just went off, and it was just fantastic from that point forward.
Wow. How is your recollections of Wayne Gretzky?
Oh, yeah, that's a good story, too. Did you know that one?
I kind of know a little bit of it, but if you could share with our viewers about that.
Okay. It was a great story. It was one of my very first assignment when I was starting out, and I had to go to the Canada Cup headquarters where all the guys were training and getting ready again, early 90s. And I was to get Wayne Gretzky, and I thought, oh, yeah, start me off slow. Sure. So I go into the training area at the hotel where they were all taking their physicals. And I walked up to him and I introduced myself and I said, may I please have you for a couple of moments? And he said, sure, I've just got to get on the bike and I'll get with you in about 10 minutes. I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what am I going to do? I just got blown off by Wayne Gretzky. I'm going to go back and I don't have my interview. I didn't get the job done, blah, blah, blah. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, I hear, Nancy, and I turn around, and it's Wayne Gretzky saying, come on, let's do it.
Wow.
Right.
You've had an excellent career, and I know the Yankees will be heading up north real soon. We can't wait to see more of your assignments and the work that you do for so many people. It's very inspiring.
Thank you. I'm so excited about this team. What do you guys think? I'm looking for a comeback from DJ LeMahieu. Do you like Glaber at second? I want to collect your thoughts.
I love Glaber at second. I think that he's comfortable there, and I think he'll be a better hitter because of it. And, he's a good kid, and I just hope he really gets it together because it'd be good for the Yankees. It'd be good for New York.
Yeah, but where does DJ play? He continues to float around, I guess. I guess.
You know what? He's got the mentality to be able to do that. He can play anywhere, and you know what? He's a good guy in the clubhouse. He's just a good person and a good baseball player.
Another question, too. Does Aaron Judge sign a long-term contract? That's been in the New York papers recently. What do you think, Nance?
I don't know anyone that doesn't want that to happen, so I'm hoping it does. I'd like to see him here for a long time. Just like Ray said, he's another one that's a leader in the clubhouse, right? And one of the faces of the game. And I think he's a smarter ball player now with regard to how to approach each day. It's a tough thing for a guy, I imagine, right, Ray?
Nancy, I got to ask you, Has he warranted a 7-8 year deal? Has he done enough to warrant that kind of a deal, Nancy, in your opinion?
That's such a difficult answer.
It is.
Because, does anyone deserve that? It's there's a lot to balance and a lot to weigh because it depends on the situation and the payroll and the luxury tax and the prognosis and the prospects behind players. There's too many factors involved, but I do believe and I certainly hope that the two sides come to a compromise that they're both happy with.
One of the aspects that I see Andrew Friedman on the Dodgers side, and he's been pretty successful in this baseball game of signing and long-term stuff. One of the parameters that always seems to be a high priority for him is the character of the player, because he wants players of character, because that just translates to the whole clubhouse, to the whole team, and to the whole winning perspective of the organization. So don't you think that that's an important factor, Nancy, in signing a player long-term like Judge?
Robby, I think 100%. I think back to the year that the Yankees signed CeCe and AJ Burnett and Mark Teixeira, and that was a big impetus for that, right? That whole change in culture. That's an overused word these days, but it is appropriate, right? Mm-hmm. Because it is important what happens in the clubhouse. CeCe was a tremendous clubhouse guy, and as was Brett Gardner. That's why he was around so long as well. So yes, 100%. And Aaron Judge, you see him. He's very much a leader, and he was almost that from day one, right, Ray?
Yes, he was.
That's right.
Yes, he was.
I do think that if the Dodgers could get a big enough uniform, he'd look awfully good in Dodger blue, though.
Oh, Robby. Okay. You got California dreaming there, Robby.
I was just going to say that.
Freddie Freeman, I mean, he looks really good in Dodger blue, doesn't he?
He looks great in a uniform. He looks great in any uniform.
That's right. Well, Nancy, thank you so very much for joining us here on Reach Out. We really appreciate it. We enjoy your work. Can't wait to see you again.
Thank you, guys. I'm a big fan of all of you.
Bravo.
Continued success. Lots of love.
Thank you, Nancy. And we'll get that bobblehead for you real soon.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Nancy Newman, Yes Network. Wow, great person. You've known her for so many years.
Yeah,
and
great person.
So,
Very
Robby, we do this music thing every week, too. What's in store for us today?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was hanging out with another New York. This show tends to have I think it's a little lopsided on the New York side versus the California side, but
it starts here and it rolls out there, Robby. Okay?
And don't forget, there are other parts of the country, even like Florida, where you guys just were last week, and the Midwest, St. Louis, where Albert Pujols, all that stuff. So we have to cover it all. But I was hanging out with a native New Yorker. Well, he's not a native New Yorker, but he's a long-time New Yorker.
Mm-hmm. Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer, my buddy Paul Schaefer.
David Letterman.
Wow.
And you know what? Paul and a lot of people compare me with Paul because we're both music directors.
Right.
We're both kind of wild and crazy kind of guys. And
that's an understatement.
Yeah. And we're both maybe our height deficiencies here. Look, you can see we're the same height here. So
there we go.
Hey, listen, Frank Sinatra was your height, okay? So don't talk that.
Is that apple juice there, Robby?
You know what that was, and you can see I've known Paul a long time. That goes back so a long time. And by the way, Paul Schaefer is a big Frankie Valli fan.
Oh, okay.
But Paul was for people who don't know Paul Schaefer, and I don't know if many people don't know Paul Schaefer, but Paul Schaefer is not only a Hammond organ guy like I am, but Paul Schaefer was the music director for David Letterman's show for the entire run, which is 25, 30 years more, maybe.
Yeah,
and before that, go ahead.
I'm sorry, when that came to an end, because everybody watched David Letterman. We love the dialogue that Paul Schaefer had with David Letterman, that friendship and rapport. When that ended, there was a loss for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's like what Paul Schaefer was to David Letterman, I am to Ray Negron and Steve Vaccaro, right?
There we go.
No, but here you are the co-host of the show. Okay?
That's right.
He was just like the side,
the
you know what I'm saying. He was like the court jester,
But no, but he was the maestro
knew
to that
music?
band.
You know, I mean, Robbie Robinson. We we don't have a show without Robbie Robinson.
Nah,
Right.
no. But so I was hanging out with him Saturday night. He came out came out and did a show with the Long Beach Symphony Orchestra, and it was really cool because this is an area that Paul wants to start doing more of. Now that he's not on television 5 nights a week, now he can go out and do his own kind of shows, and he's going to go out and do these symphony shows. And I was at the show.
You do that, Robbie?
I know I do that, but I was hanging out with Paul. I wanted to see how he did his thing, so I went over to see his show Saturday night, and I have a short little clip of his
Let's see it. Let's
show.
see it.
Wow, Paul Schaefer.
You know, he was doing that part from the Beatles. I
Yes.
read the news today.
Yes.
And the orchestra. I mean, there is nothing like playing with the symphony orchestra. One of the most fun things I have in all of music, unless it's other than playing at Yankee Stadium or playing at a Dodger game, would be to conduct the symphony orchestras. And I've had a chance to do that. I've had a chance to do that all over the world. That's with Frankie Valli, and that's me conducting the London Symphony Orchestra at Royal Albert Hall.
Is that Ray all the way in the back there? Is that
over
Ray?
to the
That's
left.
him.
To the
Up
left.
in the
Red hat.
nosebleed system.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
where Robbie gets me tickets to.
I
Yeah.
got him a free ticket for that
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Right, all the way in the top.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Number one, and I may embarrass you. I don't care. But when you have your orchestra,
Yeah.
you are a whole different guy. I mean, you can't. I mean, you are in a different zone. Why does that happen, Robbie?
Well, you're the maestro, so you're officially put up on a pedestal. Not only figuratively, but literally, you're put up on this pedestal, and you have to be the maestro, and then you have to conduct. You have 100 musicians, and when I say 100 musicians around you, you have world-class musicians, because if you're going to play in one of these great symphony orchestras, that picture there is with the National Symphony Orchestra. And when you're standing in front of 100 world-class musicians, you have to step up to the plate, to use the baseball analogy. And that is, you have to lead them, and you have to conduct them, and to guide them, and to just lead them down the path that the musical path that we want to accomplish. And that's what it is. And it's different than me just playing,
Right.
and like I always said, my performance when I'm doing that kind of thing is the 3-hour rehearsal that you have on the day of the show, because that's when you're standing in front of 100 of the world's best musicians.
Right.
And then you have to do your thing in front of them. And then when it's showtime, it's a different animal.
Robbie, is there a lot of pressure to do that? I mean, you just said 3 hours, you get that one crack to get everybody together, and then you're out there doing it. Do you feel the pressure, or for you, after all this time, it's a little bit easier?
I was just talking to one of my talented friends the other day about pressure and all that kind of stuff. And the thing that alleviates pressure is experience. And when you've done things long enough, when you've done it enough, and you've made your mistakes and you learn along the way, then there is no pressure, and you enjoy it. I would think even when Albert Pujols, as great as he is, or let me use a better analogy, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, or Aaron Judge, they step up to the plate. There's still amount of pressure, but they love it, just like Ernie Banks would love it. He steps up to the plate and enjoys the moment, and that's what I do. I just enjoy it.
Unbelievable. And Robbie, it's just when Robbie is performing with an orchestra, I do not go to my seat, because I am afforded the luxury of being able to sit backstage, not sit, but stand backstage, because I want to capture every little idiosyncrasy of what Robbie does.
What is that picture with? That's with the, I think that's the London Symphony. We have a clip of Frankie Valli, us doing "Who Loves You" with the Nashville Symphony. By the way, Nashville has a great symphony orchestra. They've won about 60 Grammys. 60 Grammys. But can we roll that, Carmine? Can we roll that clip?
Let's check out that clip with Frankie Valli.
Frankie Valli.
Yeah. You know what I love, that's an amazing video and the work that you do at. But every concert with Frankie Valli, he acknowledges you and you acknowledge him, and that rapport on stage comes shining through after 44 years. It's great to see that unfold on stage.
44 years is a long time to do anything, but to be in the same band with a guy, and let's be clear about it. I get to work with one of the legends of the music,
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it's like I get to work with Babe Ruth, or I get to work with Lou Gehrig, or I get to work with
George Steinbrenner.
Yeah, Sandy Koufax, or Clayton Kershaw.
Don Mattingly.
Or Ray. Now, Ray knows this, though, but you know what it's like, because you got to rub shoulders with legends and icons, too, all the time.
Well, all I know is that I love being around you and Frankie. It's just all these years, and it's still, I'm in fantasy land when I'm with the two of you. It's just beautiful.
Well, we had some fun down in Florida with all of us down there with the Reach Out crew.
We had Joey D. I mean, we had a great time. We raised some funds for Joshua House, and there's the crew right there. Joey D was amazing, doing his thing.
Nice hat,
Peppermint twist. That was Joey's hat, actually.
Well, you're wearing it.
It was St. Patty's Day, of course.
That's right. But I think we have another video clip, Robby.
Which one?
Uptown Girl?
Robby, Frankie did Uptown Girl?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Frankie did Uptown Girl?
We're going to go in the Wayback Machine. Okay? The Wayback Machine. And what happened is, a number of years ago, you know that the song Uptown Girl was right. Well, who sang it, Ray? You know who sang it?
Billy Joel.
And he wrote that song and as a tribute to Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. And he
Didn't
always
know
said,
that.
oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Well, if you think about that song, everything about it sounded like the Four Seasons. And when he wrote it, he said that his idea was it would be the flip side to Ragdoll.
Wow.
And so when we did a TV show, they were doing a tribute to Billy Joel. We did some TV show way back. Well, you'll see I'm a little bit younger in the video, but we did this TV show. So they had us do Uptown Girl as a tribute to Billy Joel. And
All
Billy
right.
Joel's sitting in the audience, and then you'll see him at the end of the show.
Let's see
All right,
it.
let's check
Let's
it out.
see
A little
it.
small clip
All
of that. Let's check it out.
Uptown girl, she's been living in her uptown world. I bet she never had a backstreet guy. Bet her mama never told her why. I'm gonna try for an uptown girl. She's been living in a white bread world. As long as anyone with hot blood can. Now she's looking for a downtown man. That's what I am. And when she knows what she wants from her time, and when she wakes up and makes up her mind, she'll see I'm not so tough just because I'm in love with an uptown girl. My uptown girl. Uptown girl. Uptown
That was a
Wow.
couple of years ago.
Nice.
I love it.
And
Love
Billy
it.
Joel sitting
Man.
right there. Christy Brinkley, unbelievable.
Wow, that was beautiful.
And in Billy Joel's Uptown Girl video, he has Christine Brinkley
Christy
was
Brinkley,
Christy
yeah.
Brinkley, yeah.
Christy Brinkley, was in
Yep.
there in
Yeah.
that. So,
But we all have to be reminded and never forget what's going on in Ukraine and
Horrific.
overseas. It's tragic. All these refugees, all these senseless crimes and murders. And you recently have talked about it on your show, Jam and Java. I mean, how did it affect you, and what's your thoughts about things?
when I look at that, man's inhumanity to man, it never ceases to horrify me and to amaze me how inhuman people can be to other people. And this is going on in such a large scale now in Ukraine. We need to pray for that. We need to put an end to this one way or another, sooner than later. Little kids are dying. Little, innocent people are being murdered, right and left. And so obviously we need to resolve it. But we can do is we can pray about it. And the other night at church, after our church service, a young lady that I work with at church, she's one of the most talented humans I've ever known. Her name is Andrea Hammond. And she's a great violinist. And I said, why don't we do the Ukraine national anthem? And so we recorded it just in support of the Ukraine effort.
Well, we're gonna pray. We're gonna take us home with this, Robby. So thank you very much. God bless. Have a great show
Robby.
tonight. We love you.
Robby, another great show. You're the best. You're the man, the myth, and the legend, baby.
God bless Ukraine and all the people there.
Amen, Buck.